Hey, what's up guys? John here. The labor market is going through a massive shift right now as the economy takes a very interesting turn with rising inflation, increased borrowing costs, a struggling consumer, and the next worry of potentially more closures coming right around the corner. Business owners are looking to pull back some risk and they're looking at all of their costs and they're doing it with a fine-tooth comb. Remember over the last few years, we'd turn the mainstream media on and we'd see one headline after the next saying, employees deserve more.
In America, 2021 has been the year of the Great Resignation.
Businesses across the country are experiencing operational chaos as new data shows a record number of people quitting their jobs.
A record-breaking 4.3 million Americans quit in August. That's the highest number ever recorded.
Talking about the Great Resignation, saying that you should go and quit your job and go somewhere else. But now, with all these new changes, look at what employers are doing.
The nation's labor market continues to defy expectations. Weekly unemployment claims fell to 228,000 last week, a two-month low.
Because this is a complete game changer for the economy. Whether you're an employee or an employer, pay attention to the facts. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate other people about what's really going on in the U.S. economy. And if you want to fix your credit, you want to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, which we're in right now. There's no denying it. It started 3 years ago. The next 2-3 years, it's going to ramp up. You're going to want great credit. You're not going to want to put yourself in a position to where you can't get funding, can't get financing, can't invest in distressed real estate. You're going to want great credit. We'd love to help get you there at greatcreditfast.com. Don't let one issue, one problem on your credit report hold you back from investing. Go to greatcreditfast.com, book a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So quit rates fall to pre-pandemic levels as job market shows sign of cooling. A little more than 3.5 million employed Americans, or about 2.3%, quit their jobs last month according to the Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey. This is the lowest quit rate since January 2021, and it falls in line with pre-pandemic rates, which hover around 2.3 to 2.4% of the years leading up to this situation. Job openings also fell 8.8 million in July, down from 9.2 million in June, marking the lowest level since March of 2021. Now, a few things have happened in this economy that is worth noting. The first is the cost of living has continued to rise, as we all know, and all that burden was pushed on to employers to pay more money. They were competing with these six-figure entry salaries. They were competing to stay competitive and stay in business. But now what's ultimately happening is employees and employers both took on massive levels of debt during an era where there was endless money printing. Interest rates were basically zero. There was money flowing everywhere. PPP loans, stimulus checks. These businesses, many of which were funded by the government by receiving these stimulus checks, these payments. Now all that money is getting pulled out, yet the responsibility is being held by the employer and the employee, which is going to be a huge rug pull event that's about to unfold here. Today's JOLT report particularly resolves the conundrum and confirms what we've been seeing on online job postings. The labor market is largely back to pre-pandemic conditions. Now, if you are an employer and you, let's say, have 20 employees, say 10 of them you've hired over the last 3 years, and you've given them 20, 30% pay bumps to try to attract that great talent. Now you go on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or one of these websites and you're shopping around for talent and you see a lot of great candidates for 20 to 30% less. What are you going to do? Well, if you need to cut costs, you're either going to cut your current employee base or you're going to start to recruit talent at a lower cost. And that's what I think is ultimately going to happen. I think we're going to start to see a lot of layoffs start to unfold here, which could have a really big impact on the housing market. Remember, a lot of people that buy real estate and they've invested did so based on a lot of these propped up wages. And as these wages start to come down and the cost of being a homeowner, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, everything is continuing to rise, gas prices, food prices, it's going to be a very big problem that's going to tip over into the housing market. Both declines point to a cooling labor market conditions, which will come as a relief to many employers. The falling quit rate appears to be the largest signal that the Great Resignation, in which Americans left their jobs at record high rates in the wake of the pandemic, is waning. The quit rates peaked at 3% in late 2021 and early 2022, around the same time the job opening rates hit a high of 12 million. The vast majority of Americans who quit their jobs do so before taking a new one often with better compensation, work conditions, or career opportunities. But look at what Walmart's doing right here. This is fascinating. Walmart is telling people, telling their pharmacists, pay cuts are coming. You're going to hours while work piles up, right? Walmart asks pharmacists to take pay cuts, work fewer hours to reduce their costs. We're going to start seeing this. If Walmart's doing this, you can bet that Sally's Bakery and Joe's Plumber and all these small business owners are going to have to start doing very, very similar things as consumers simply just have less money to spend at their business. So these business owners are getting hit from all directions. Consumers have less money. Employees are demanding more money. It's just the cost of utilities, everything for these business owners just to stay in business. Workers' comp, everything's continuing to rise. There's going to be sacrifices made, especially as inflation continues to likely get out of control. U.S. consumer confidence wanes with prices still high and signs of a cooling job market. Well, I believe what's ultimately going to happen here with this situation is just going to get much, much, much worse. And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw certain restrictions start to come back over the next few months. Maybe there's certain mandates, certain things that end up unfolding, which will put even more pressure on business owners. Now, that's speculative, but if you read a lot of the headlines, that is what people are discussing. That's an open talking point right now. So I guess we'll see how that kind of plays out. But one thing that we know for sure is that we're going to start seeing employers nationwide and worldwide start to cut their costs as much as possible. They're going to be doing that by renegotiating wages. They're going to be doing that by outsourcing talent. They're going to be doing that by bringing forward AI, robotics, technology, and other cost-cutting measures to stay in business and stay afloat. It's a crazy, crazy time, but it's a great time. If you have, an online business, you have a business in which can survive with very, very low cost. If you have that, that's a really, really big leg up. If you also have great credit, if you have cash in the bank, if you have very low to no consumer debt, these are all benefits. Looking at all of these changes that are going to happen in this economy, I believe is going to present massive opportunity for disruption in certain small businesses. If you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to start or scale a business and you're looking at what's happening here, you're going to start to see a lot of disruption happen. So prepare yourself and position yourself for it, because as we start to see all these layoffs start to unfold here, I can promise you, wages are only going down. Wages are not going to go up. AI, tech, robotics, outsourcing talent overseas, all of these things are only going to continue to become more dominant, more powerful in the coming years. As that happens, and we have $17 trillion in debt, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Over 1.1 trillion in just outstanding credit card debt, 1.6 trillion in student loan debt, 1.7 trillion in auto loan debt, and student loans are going to be due in 45 days. So if you start to connect all these dots, it's one hit after the next for employees and employers. There's no way in which I think we see this soft landing. If you look at the Fed, they've made statements publicly in newspapers going back from 1970s to the 1980s, 1990s, the early 2000s crash, 2008 real estate crash. All these crashes, every single headline, they said soft landing incoming. They're saying the same exact thing now. There is no way that we hit some type of soft landing and all of this just simply, fades away. It's just not going to happen. Even as hires have softened, hiring remains above the quit rates in every sector. The great reshuffling isn't what it was 2 years ago, but it continues as workers look and find better job opportunities. While Pollock suggested that the shift was indicative of a cooling market, she similarly noted that the current conditions still favor job seekers and workers to an extent. While it might take more time, more applications, and stronger job interview performance to land a job than it did in 2021 and 2022, there are still plenty of job openings. The latest job opening numbers come as the Federal Reserve is set to consider yet another interest rate hike next month amid its efforts to rein in inflation. Now remember, as they increase interest rates, the cost to service existing adjustable rate debt for businesses gets more and more expensive. And the average American business has 20 days of cash on hand. They don't even have enough money to make it to the next month. They have 20 days of cash on hand. As they increase interest rates, that hurts the consumer and it hurts the business owner. All of these things, I believe, are going to present a massive opportunity for the smart and savvy that are prepared, that see what's going on, that are positioning themselves in advance for this. I think there's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to invest in real estate and some incredible opportunities to seek and retain incredible talent, very, very smart people that you can bring forward that are looking for, a way in which they can offset this high cost of living. Maybe, you do Maybe bring them in, give them some equity in a company. Maybe give them some upside. Maybe you partner up with them in some capacity. Well, we're going to see a lot of really smart people looking to restructure away from what they're currently doing for something that has more upside. We're going to see a lot of opportunity, and I think we're going to see a lot of money made and a hell of a lot of money lost over the next 6 to 12 months. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below, hit the like button, add me on IG. And if you want to fix your credit, you want to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you at my company, greatcreditfast.com. That's greatcreditfast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, you have something in your report, do not let it sit there. In many cases, it can sit there 7 years and prevent you from investing and getting ahead. Go to greatcreditfast.com, click the link, schedule a free strategy session. Catch you in the next video.